Hello there, everybody. I wanted to go ahead and show how I have learned how to add blend shape to clothing. Now, this works well with clothing, blend shape, or bias beams and stuff like that. Um, like for instance, I've done this thing to this, adding pretty much all the blend shapes that it needed. Um, get this to move with like all the face tracking and whatnot. Probably also go over with this, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go with this blank slate. There's no shape keys. I have sculpted it to Jaeger here, and we're gonna use a program add-on for Blender. It's called Shape Key Wrap. It's really useful. It does take a little bit of getting used to understand it, and I realized there isn't really a video that does this because this isn't normally used for avatar work. It's just something at Blender side of like um, doing stuff, which I highly recommend if you want to learn how to do anything like making avatars and stuff like that or assets. Watch Blender videos. Don't look for anything specifically for VR chat. I'm going to tell you right now, most of the videos are garbage and uninformative. Um, most of them. Uh, there are a few creators which I do recommend, like people like Pinky. Pinky's pretty good. That's the only one I can think of on the top of my head. But here is a good way to add all the blend shapes that you need for an extremely customizable avatar, like this, for instance. We have a lot of blend shapes, and I want to add all the blend shapes that we need for clothing so it doesn't clip. And I guess you could say this is a little, I guess, peak of eager. All right. All right. So you got to do shape key wrap. What you're going to do is you're going to select the mesh in object mode, right? And then shift, and then click the thing that you're wanting to get the blend shapes from. Um, you want to use squeezy pixels. Uh, override shape keys in case it already has shape keys that already have the same name and you need to update them. So having that checked. Delete empty. Basically, if the blend shape actually doesn't do anything, it will delete it. All right, we're also going to use list. So figure. So I'm going to go down my list of blend shapes, and basically I'll use all of the ones um, that I actually use for this. Um, so the base body of this is actually the TVF base body, which is the reason why you have this. I'm still cleaning up blend shapes and whatnot. Small, that's big. Hourglass, dead bod, waster, which is kind of nice that it does save the other ones that I've used. Alarms just in case, fit back potatoes. Probably not, butt round maybe, thicker thigh head slip. Don't need any of the And if you're not 100% certain, you can go over here to your Blendshapes and just like turn them on and off. I also use Shape Key Plus Plus. I also highly recommend getting that. It does a lot of things. One of the biggest things is it gives you, I'll go global sliders. So basically anything that has any of these blend shapes with this one over here will basically also make it engage. Bulging, like bulging on for the dudes. Because basically this is an edit of by Artemis, which isn't finished. And yeah, so I realize all my not safe for work, be it. Oh, okay, it's just uh these actually don't do anything. These are usually my go-to blood shapes that I make on most avatars. I just ended up not using them. That because I think that one's those are hmm try that one. So corset on. Shrinks the body a little bit. The holdover from Artemis. May or may not use it for this, because I do, in fact, actually have a nail course. And I already know that this Ebs probably not. Probably not. But what's really nice is you can also re-update these later on because of the override shape keys. All right. All the bulging. Fairly certain. Low job, probably not. Oh no. That. All right. So with that, I also recommend using Crypto Smooth. It smooths it out. You can increase or decrease this. I recommend keeping it at 5 and a factor of 0.5, which is basically the basic. It just smooths it out. And then pretty much all you gotta do is just hit transfer shape keys. And then you just kind of and that instantaneous? Oh wow, that was pretty fucking fast, Jesus. Alright. Okay, so there we go, flat. See? Down, moves with it. All. Dad bod. So dad bod for some reason, right here, always needs a little bit of fixing. Not 100% sure why. And I think that's because my sculpt slides it. So you just check all your stuff and kind of it's like wink. So basically, what this does is it does basically it's the program that you really want for Blendshapes editing it to close. Um, like I said, slide. It's thinking like maybe this got like pushed up or something, but no, it doesn't. Arrow, ebb, soften. Like yeah, this makes a on. Which technically the corset on corset. Oh yeah, because this that actually works perfectly. Yeah, so corset. That up. Now I could make it to where um the corset stayed like skin tight. That. Kind of sucks that this doesn't keep them organized. So on corset on, actually, at this point, I am going to actually use the blend shape. Oh, okay. Ah, oh, it unfolded. I see what. Alright, I'm like stupid. Out. Sure you're on the right blend shape. Two. Flipping. I prefer the elastic tool. I prefer sculpting other over editing, and then using this tool. So this tool is nice for like stuff, but I'm so used to the control precision I get with just sculpting, and like for me to scale this down is such a pain. While in like sculpt mode, I can change the strength and influences like really fast. Now, if you don't want it to deform in any way and you want to like precisely move stuff, I recommend the editing or just grabbing the grab tool, and then basically what you're looking for is a little dill. We'll just grab tool do pretty much exactly what the editing tool will do. But the editing tool will actually allow you to do bigger areas more effectively. Like if you want everything to stay together and move, like keeping things in the same shape but just moving around, yes, you're going to want to use the edit tool. That is vision. Hairs in. Yeah. That's pretty much it, really. What's another thing I could show? I mean, do this. All right, so here's uh, this, which I technically already need to do this anyway. But you want to make sure that your basis is perfect. Just that in. Um, cool. Face sets. I do everything in like face sets instead of masking. Let's see. All right, if I want to influence bigger area. So pretty much the center circle is the thing that's gonna pull most of it, and then the outer circle is the area around that will be like slightly affected. And using the grab tool. See, like for instance, this right here. me pull this down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this a little bit. Then we're going to top of this down. Oh. So I didn't make this. I made this portion, this metal portion. I made that. I'm thinking before before it fully gets released, I'm probably gonna remake and make my own leather strapped, loosely based on this one because it's pretty close to what I want, but I kind of want like um a buckle or something. Although it really back then. Like I said, you want this to be pretty much perfect. Where you go using the transfer back to face. Also, how to make a face set. All right, so this is how you make a face set. So click this, edit mode, right? And okay, we're gonna select all of this as one face set because for some reason it's separated into three. So I'm gonna click L on your keyboard over this. So on the link selected and whatnot, so you have normal, material, seam, sharp, UVs. All right, I'm gonna kind of go over what this does. All right, so material. So once you go to that, you can go to material, shift L that, and so this has a different material. I have it set to material. This only pops up once you hit L, pretty much. And then I can click that, and it'll click that material, and then like that material. So you can grab stuff by material and UVs and stuff. So if I click the to UVs, oh, it's just cut open from the underside. Okay. Oh, that's how they did it. That, and I want to use a whole sheet, get as much detail as possible, and then that means I can also crank down the resolution. So I'm gonna undo this. I think I'm just gonna call this Lancer clothing tricks. So here's, so if I hold Shift Alt and then click a line, you'll select a loop, right? That loop, I'm gonna select another loop. I'm gonna select an arrow loop, right? And then got it, got it. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna right click the screen and you can mark that as seam. So what that's gonna do is it's gonna tell Blender where to cut the UVs. The UV is literally these little dots over here. It basically tells where this texture sheet to go onto your mesh. It's literally what a UV is. It took me the longest time to understand what a UV was. It wasn't really a thing that you normally see. It's only a thing inside of like Blender and other 3D software. And it's data that gets attached to the mesh. And the only place you can see it is pretty much in here. All right, so now I'm gonna click L. So I clicked all of that. I'm gonna go over here and go to UV, unwrap. All right, so this is how I would have done it: is two halves and whatnot. And you can see I have Neo 3 UV. This is an amazing UV add-on, which you can only get in 4.2 Blender and above, which is actually the reason why I use 4.2. But you can also use CATs and robust wave transfer and like all the programs. I should say add-ons. So like I would just, that's literally what I would do. I would just stretch it to use the entire sheet. And as you can see, this part showing up on the UVs. But yeah, that's what a UV is. A lot of people don't understand what a UV is, but that is what a UV is. I'm gonna do all that. Actually, gonna probably see because I might retexture it. I don't know, or just by make my own. But if I retexture it, I'm definitely gonna re-UV it. All right. So, anyways, your Lance that likes to teach stuff. Teaching. So I know stuff. Do things. I know. Another little cool little tool, like your spacing on things are a little weird. You can activate this thing called loop tools. Also, selecting lines, or so this is this thing right here is lines, vertices, which is like the little points where thing intersects, and then faces, which are the. But when doing line select, you want to have lines. You can use vertex, but there's certain things that you can't really do properly. Selecting that. All right, as you right click, loop tools, relax. So what that's going to do is it's going to relax the curvature of it, and it's also going to evenly space it. But do note that you can only really do one at a time. Tools, relax. Okay, you can see how that is now. No. All right, so loop tools is not automatically activated. Okay, all right. So edit add-ons. Um, so you type it in here on add-ons, and this is specifically for like 4.2 and up. Type in loop, check mark that. Tools will be turned on. Also note when getting like the default um, tools inside of Blender, you do have to have a internet connection to get them, because granted you have to have internet to download Blender, and yeah. But basically, they made like the package smaller by making like Blender itself separately from all the add-ons, and so all the add-ons are through their server, I guess. All right, so now that is all fixed, right? And so I know for a fact my brow not quite following. What was not? It had something to do with my brows. Ooh. There's a thing I will have to do before moving on, because I realize that this needs to be moved out, and I'm only going to do that flipping when the brow gets. So I'm gonna do this. Oh fuck! I was trying to show you face sets. Uh, oh, I just realized I went on a separate tangent. Oh my god! All right, making face sets. Jesus. This is pretty much how like might work for. I was like, oh, piece of candy, piece of candy, piece of candy. All right, so you select the thing that you want to make a face set, which basically works like masks, but you can turn it on and off a lot easier, and it selects like the mesh area in which it's like the deals. I like it more than masking. All right, then you go to sculpt mode, and then you go over here to face sets. Face set from edit mode selection. So now that all turned purple. So now with face sets, that will not move. Let's see what that looks like. Pull this out. I already know I checked up the. Right, so it's the brow thing. Okay, that's Still clipping. Oh yeah, so this will do that, but with Shape Key plus plus. Highly recommend. I quite literally think it is a very thing. It will save you so much time. All right, so you do this. It. So I'm not working on this layer. I am literally working on the basis, which make sure whatever blend shape that you're wanting to affect, or just the base, um, you want that. Like for instance, this is not going to be released with it, but like say for instance, I have Minotaur. Um, Notice that this doesn't move anywhere, and that is because the blend shape is not added to that. In fact, there are pretty much no blend shapes affecting this because I had it separated before I did what I was about to do, and I almost forgot to do it. All right, so this, so if you want to do like robust weight painting or do the blend shape thing, but you don't want those blend shapes to affect certain areas, and you rather do edit mode and manually move them inside the dill, which I highly recommend that for rings and stuff that isn't really supposed to bend, which also makes it very difficult on rings and stuff because you're like, oh, I don't want that to bend because it doesn't look right. At least I'm that anal retentive and it annoys me because I see it on my avatar, so I'm just like, ah, it's wrong. Um, I don't want to. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, I like that. All right. Anyways, back to edit mode. And what I'm going to do is after I select the things I want to separate, right click, click, go down to separate and do selection. So what that's going to do is it's going to make a duplicate. Well, it's going to name it the name and then like +00. What Blender do. So now click this, then this, go to tool. No, wrong tool. Tools. Faster to uncheck. I don't need or check the thing. Okay. Uh, I'm going to check all and then uncheck the things that I don't need. Ooh, don't need any of these. Bigger? Well, if you use VRC blend shape optimizer, you don't really have to worry about having two blend shapes. Basically, you'll get rid of all the blend shapes that you're not actually going to use on your avatar. So why really? Oh. Hmm. No, we don't need. Why we don't need blink? Because we don't need this to fold down. That blink. Man, so why does it take so long to work on avatar? Technically pin, but I'm gonna leave it wherever wants to fuck around with that. Don't need. All right, we'll leave that on there. I think don't need close. All these will leave. Cool. Yeah, no, I don't. These. IP. Oh, how did 4 hours go by and I haven't hardly done anything? 4 hours. I mean, I did take it. So that is all of those. And blah. Huh, that was fast. Last time that was like pretty instantaneous. All right, so now we go to this. So the reason why the vise beams are here is because my face, actually, like the top of the jaw moved. Now it's really meant to be that, but kind of see the teeth do go up. I've just accepted that those the teeth go a little bit up. I might eventually fix it. Teeth aren't supposed to move. It's supposed to simulate the top of this portion, like moving up. Don't need that anymore. I can be skinny boy. All right, so I'm going to show a fix. All right, so this muscled upper area moves, the head moves back, and I don't want that to happen. I am okay with the neck getting smaller, but I do not want the head and the fluff back like that. So, what I'm going to do now, go about this angle right here. And box select. Said box select. Box select. Press B, and then we'll do this. Solid. Code. We're going to hit Control Alt. Oh wait, this is C. Press C, and then we hold the middle button. Unselect stuff. Although technically that chain isn't doing anything. But if I press C and then I hit the middle mouse button, it'll delete or unselect. And to get out of C, right click and it'll. Well, the reason why we go into wireframe mode is we know now that we're actually selecting everything. That's not added to one of my blend shapes. Okay. All right. So here is the trick. Going go find the blend shape. We're not on corset on anymore. Flipper. That it. Oh. Oh, there it is. In fact, All right. Also with Shape Key Plus Plus, little tools and a bunch of other little cool add-on things, is I want to move this because I want this to be with this. So I'm gonna hit copy, and then where I want it to be underneath is the one I click. So I'm gonna click this, and then I'm gonna paste. So instead of the old-fashioned ways to do this is to move it up and down with this, and when you have a fuck ton of blend shapes, that takes for so yeah. JQ plus plus, that's it. All right. Now we're on this. We have this selected. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to faces or vertex. Vertex. We're gonna say blend from shape. This is gonna pop up down here. We're gonna unclick add. Now the that all that stuff moves and whatnot. So now the head does it. And then on this, we're just going to simply delete it. None of the clothing will be weight painted for that, but this is for people that want to, or not weight painted, sculpted for it. This is for people that want to like customize it and get their own and like thing. Um, so to fix this foolery, I don't want this to be. All right, this is what we're gonna do. L material. That. No, no, we're actually not because I don't want to have to read stuff I did. It was face setting the stuff. That's what I want to do. Gonna hide that. Hide. Oh boy. Whatever. But yeah. That is how you do that. Up. Let's see how that was attached when I did it last time. And I forgot to remove it. Really fun because basically what's on right now? It's on here twice. Oh, it's not on there twice. It's just not in order. All right. Why is it blue shape? That's odd. And since I really don't want this to really move at all, really the only blend shape that I need for this is like the head change, which it's not going to have head change when this gets released. Those are for other avatars. On this, I'm literally going to go here. I'm going to delete all shape keys. Now, there's something that doesn't really show up unless you have shape key plus plus. And a couple other add-ons I have. I have a lot of add-ons to make a lot of this stuff a lot faster. So, delete all shape keys. Join this back. And now it's not part of that. It will have all the shape keys, but that part of the eye patch will not move. It doesn't is not influenced by any of these. Right? Yeah. We'll show an instance of basically one of the things like so big cat. This is also going to be your avatar deal. I was originally just going to release the avatar with like all the head blend shapes, but I'm like, I could get more money if I just. Oh my god, this video is already an hour long. Jesus. So here, get that. And what we're going to do is also make sure you have blend shape that you're wanting to mess with is selected. Big cat, click big cat. Simply just going to Backing up. All right. Now, whoop, whoop, whoop. That is a really, like, good big cat look, though. Gotta say. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna stop the video here. I hope you learned something.